Hello everybody, this is Coach Maria Marcano with a special guest and good friend of mine, Chef Adam Graham, who is going to teach us how to make something that I love because it's simple and it's healthy.
So yes, my name's Adam. I'm a plant-based raw food chef, and this is my specialty, simple and healthy. And this recipe is actually a signature recipe of mine. It is actually featured in my book, The Complete Idiot's Guide to Raw Food Detox. So it's so simple, an idiot can make it.
Okay, but you don't have to.
Right. This is not simple enough for me to say. But, so yeah, this recipe is called the Avocado Apple Gadget, with a little funny name, but it's no gadgets required. Simple, easy, yummy, delicious.
I know, and actually as a burnout coach, I have to say simplicity is super important because when people think about eating healthy, sometimes just thinking about it stresses you out. So I'm really looking forward to how simple this can be.
Yeah, so what we have is everything that's in the recipe right here. Very straightforward. 1 avocado, 2 apples, 1 orange. We have about a 1/4 cup of Goji Berries. That's typically what I like to use in the recipe, but you can use raisins. And for today, I figured I'd be, splurge a little. There's actually Goji Berries, golden raisins, and regular raisins in here. And as you can see, I have the orange juice already in here. And so I've already juiced the orange, and I'm soaking the dry fruit to get it to plump up and be a little softer. But I'm not going to cheat you guys out of my special techniques for living life simply. So to juice the orange, I just fork it.
Oh, so no juicer.
No juicer.
No gadgets.
No, this is it. This is what I use. I cut the orange in half, put a fork in it, twist, 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 1/2. Now, the orange I used earlier didn't have a seed in it, so keep in mind you might have seeds in the orange or the citrus you're using. If so, you just strain it out, skim it off. But this is already ready to go, and no gadgets needed other than using a knife and a fork.
Now I'm curious about goji berries because some people might never heard what goji berries are. Can you tell us what that is?
Okay, yeah, goji berry is it's one of the more popular ingredients in Chinese medicine. It's known for being a longevity food. It actually is said to, well, it's loaded in antioxidants. It's actually in the nightshade family, so it's related to tomatoes, peppers, potatoes, and even eggplant. So if you have a nightshade allergy or issues with that, you might avoid goji berries. But for the most part, they're different from those other nightshades in that they're sweet. And they're often used in Chinese medicine recipes, but you can use them like as a substitute for raisins. We actually have growing native in the United States a couple different varieties of goji berry type plants.
They're what people call a superfood.
They are a superfood.
Yay, I know that.
We actually have some other superfoods that we're using. So I consider cinnamon a superfood. People eat it in moderation. Usually superfoods are something that you can probably take a couple tablespoons with. But cinnamon, a little goes a long way. It's high in antioxidants. It helps regulate blood sugar. It adds sweetness to recipes, even though it doesn't have a glycemic index. It also helps circulation in the body. So cinnamon is really an amazing spice that we kind of take for granted, but is actually does a lot of good in the body. I also have the superfood powder mesquite, and mesquite, which most people associate mesquite with barbecue.
Right.
And so in that context, that's the wood from the mesquite tree used to barbecue, and the smoke infuses into the food you're cooking. Well, this is the seed pod from the mesquite tree that's ground up, and it's a superfood powder. I can equate it to carob. It's similar in the fact that it's a seed pod from a tree that's turned into a powder, and that it has like a sweet taste to it. Where carob is sweet and kind of has a taste that I wouldn't say, there's no substitute for chocolate, but people often call it a chocolate substitute.
Yeah.
You look like a chocolate fan. You like chocolate?
Yeah, and I do like both. So mesquite is what does it do? What does it do? What's the property for the recipe?
It's a low glycemic sweetener, and it has a variety of minerals. And it imparts sweetness and kind of a malty flavor to this recipe. You could make the recipe without it, because the average person, the grocery store doesn't usually have mesquite powder. It might be at a higher end health food store, but you could definitely order it online as well, which I get a lot of unique superfoods. I also have a special guest. This isn't usually in my recipe, but I've been using this personally, and trying to find ways to get in my diet as much as I can on a daily basis. And this is a tart cherry concentrate, and it's loaded in antioxidants. It's anti-inflammatory, and tart cherry is unique in that it actually helps in sleep. So it's a sleep aid.
We need that.
Yeah, so it's got a naturally occurring melatonin in it, which helps regulate sleep in the body.
Good.
So we're just going to dive right into this, unless you have any questions.
No, I just want to learn.
Okay, so I'm going to grab a bowl here. We're just going to start cutting stuff up. Feel free to, I can talk and cut if you have anything you want to ask me.
So what kind of apple? Does it matter what apple we use?
I definitely would recommend organic apple because of the pesticide residue that is found on apples. There's a list put out by the Environmental Working Group. Every year they put out a list called the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. And so apples show up usually in the top 3. Some years, number 1. Strawberries and apples trade places, number 1 and number 2 on the Dirty Dozen. And so that list shows that even when washed, there's a high amount of pesticide, herbicide residue on apples. So you can reduce your intake of these poisons by making an effort to purchase organic produce when available.
Good to know.
So, and then to further kind of classify the apple, I like to, you're going to want like a firm apple, like a crisp apple. So I tend, the one apple that I'm not a super big fan of, and it's, I don't know, maybe the PR was misleading on it, is the Red Delicious. They call it delicious, but to me, they're not super delicious, and they tend to be mushy. So the apples I'm using today are Gala. So I'm a fan of Honeycrisp, Gala, Fuji, Brayburn, things like those.
And apples are in season now, so
Yeah.
extra points, because if it's in season, it means it has the most nutrients and
Sure.
they're the freshest.
They haven't been put on a boat and shipped from the other side of the planet.
The other the other end of the continent.
Get your New Zealand apples. You know, how fresh is that? But hey, you know, apple a day keeps the doctor away. They didn't just say that for no reason. If you can get, you know, the fiber, the nutrients, the antioxidants, and all the benefits that you get from fresh produce in your diet every day, you're going to be healthy and live a long life. Okay, so I cut up that first apple, and let's see. You want to have a little tutorial on
how to cut the apple?
Sure. Now,
do you? I do. I'm not very good with a knife.
So now I could also, one way I would, if I was at home and had my gadgets, because not only is this meal a gadget, I refer to it as a gadget, but you can use kitchen gadgets. One kitchen gadget I use to cut slice apples and things like that is a mandolin or a V-slicer. I don't have one of those today because I want to keep it simple. So because I don't have that, I'm doing it by hand. So the first thing I do is I cut little planks. Are you qualified to operate this?
No, I'll watch.
Okay. Because yeah, did you sign the release form? So I cut a little slices like that off until I get to the core. And if you can see here, I can see the little, I'm like, okay, I'm there. And at that point, I stack the pieces like that. Now, it's important to use a sharp knife. If your knife can't cut through an apple skin or a tomato skin, your knife's not sharp enough. I go out and I work with people, and I find that there are no sharp knives in their house. And that's problematic because actually dull knives are more dangerous than sharp knives. Because you end up forcing the knife instead of letting the knife do the work, and what happens a lot of times is you put a lot of force and you slip through and you end up cutting yourself. And why, yes, a sharp knife can cut you, a dull knife being pushed with a lot of force can do actually more damage.
So then you just stack it, turn it around.
Stack it, cut it across one way, rotate it 90 degrees, cut it the other.
Cool.
Yeah, so we got this
Mine
going.
would not look that perfect. So I'm glad you did it.
Well, practice makes perfect.
That's
so
true, that's true.
I've got about, we're going to feed a bunch of people, so I'm going to let you go later here off camera. You're going to get a dozen apples and you'll get to practice. And, and everyone that's not perfect, you have to eat. So you'll get your apple. No, we're not going to do that. So there we go. I'm doing it again. And it becomes easier
the more you do it, like anything.
The more you do it.
And then, so I just noticing that we're using apples, and sometimes when you do anything with apples, they get brown. I think that they oxidate, right? Yeah,
so the preventative here for oxidizing an apple is the citrus juice. So we're using orange juice. Many times people use lemon. Lemon and lime juice are a go-to for preventing oxidation. At this point, even just sitting here without the lemon and lime or the orange juice on there, this is going to slowly oxidize. So at this point, we could.
How did I know that?
We could transfer that. I don't know. You're psychic.
I'm so intuitive. It's all that yoga and all that meditation.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, now, so both the avocado and the apple have the potential for oxidizing, but now that we put the orange juice on there, it's gonna reduce the chance of that. So with the avocado,
it looks so pretty too. I could eat it.
Well, we're not done yet. We're gonna cut the avocado. Okay, so the basics for cutting an avocado. I pop out that little piece here. You don't want that to go in your salad, and then I just go around the equator.
Okay, since we're talking avocados, how do you know when your avocado's ready?
Okay.
It's always like a secret, spiritual secret.
Well, with the Haas avocado, usually when they're hard in the grocery store, they're pretty. The color is green and uniform green. Now, as they ripen, as you see this one, there's very little green left, and it's kind of going towards a dark color, almost black. So that's kind of the progression you'll see. If an avocado is at the grocery store and it's all black, and then also there's a little end cap, if that's missing, you can kind of see in there too. You'll get some discoloration, and you'll know, no bueno, you don't want anything to do with that avocado. So that's the visual. Now, when they're ripe, they give to light pressure. Now, you don't want to go in the store and just start smashing a bunch of avocados, trying to test them, because you basically are going to bruise them, and that's not good. So you can give a little, and you can once you've done it a few times, you kind of feel this one's definitely got some softness to it. But the color is definitely the giveaway at this point. So those are the two things. Now, there's other varieties. The larger, they refer to them as Florida avocados. They have a similar, they're dark, or they're a uniform green, and they'll shift in color, but softness as well reveals there. So I did my little thing where I cut around, and then I just do a little twist and remove 1/2. Now you have the seed. Now, I found out through a nurse that in the emergency room, they have, with the popularity of avocados, they actually have patients that are admitted to the hospital, and what they lovingly referred to them is suffering from avocado hand. And that's from
Trying to get the seed out?
Yeah. So someone comes in with avocado hand. Yeah, they do this technique. Don't try this at home, okay? But they take it, they hold it, and then they whack the pit with their knife, and sometimes they miss.
Yeah.
And then they end up in the emergency room. So the technique I've developed, it's my signature method, idiot proof until it's not, is I put it on the cutting board, I put the blade on the knife, and then I put my hand around the avocado, and I do like that.
Huh?
And then you give it a little twist. This is the part where I could probably cut myself, but I'm not going to.
But it's much safer. And I do have a friend that ended up in the emergency room with an avocado.
Yeah, you get a certificate. You get to hang that on the wall at
I'm
home.
a yoga student, so it's real.
That's a thing. All right. Believe it or not, you can make a tea with the avocado pit. You put it in water. You can cut it in half, and you put it in water. Probably about 2 cups of water, and put it in a jar. Put it in the refrigerator overnight. Open up, the water will have a nice orange color to it, and so all the antioxidants have gone into the water, and you have an avocado tea. The flavor is kind of mild. It's great for making like an iced tea. Put some lemon in it, sweeten it, or you can use it in smoothies if you do stuff like that.
So basically, it's like an antioxidant booster for your tea.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah. So you can blow people's minds. Be like, give me those avocado pits. I'm making tea. All right. So now that we have it in the skin like this is, a technique that I like to do to kind of dice it in the skin, and then I rotate it 90, and rotate it again, and then rotate it one more time. And now I kind of have it semi diced. Now this avocado's got is definitely soft. I prefer to make this salad with the firmer avocado, so the avocados are like in little cubes. This is just about, maybe just a little softer than I'd like it, but it's still going to be amazing. And then I just kind of scoop it out of there like that. Every now and then you get some weird spots inside of an avocado. This one's treating us okay.
I know, it's like a miracle.
Yeah, so if you do get one of those discolored spots, you just, use your fork or spoon or whatever and scoop that out. All right, so I'll do the same thing here. So always be mindful of the knife And don't let your finger get in the path of the blade.
I'm just amazed at the fact that we got a perfect avocado. I don't know about you guys. That is kind of like a mystical creature.
Well, I have, I can't give you
all your secrets? Oh,
Maybe on the
okay, I
next
knew it, I
episode,
knew it.
My avocado shopping tips. You do a ride along. Do shopping. Okay, at this point, I need a bigger bowl. But in essence, we mix all of this nice and uniformly. Oh, well, guess what? I forgot.
You need the spices.
My spices.
I can help you.
Yeah.
Trying to mix it up. You're gonna mix that up with the cherry, or you just go
We're gonna
simple?
do that last. Okay, so now I have 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Now, depending on your love of cinnamon, you can put 1 teaspoon. You can, I would say start with 1 teaspoon and work your way up. I like cinnamon a lot. And then the the cinnamon and the mesquite powder, there's 2 tablespoons, and that's another thing as well. You can kind of decide. Now, the orange juice is going to be in there. It's going to kind of make a nice little sauce. Like I said, maybe a little bigger bowl next time. Also, I have sea salt in here as well.
Good.
Just a little pinch.
Oh, sea salt, so it brings up all the flavors.
Yeah, and that's, thank you for mentioning that. Just a little pinch of salt goes a long way. I like to describe salt used in moderation as the orchestra conductor.
Ah.
Yeah, so this recipe here, we have all of our musicians that are on stage in the symphony. You put them in a bowl together, they're kind of all doing their own thing, and when you put a little bit of salt in there, you get this kind of harmonizing of flavors where prior to tasting it, you don't notice maybe the
Right.
cinnamon, you don't notice the subtlety of the orange juice in there.
It actually is that flavor enhancer. It doesn't really add flavor, but like brings it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a light worker.
There you go. And so, yeah, that's why it's the conductor. It's on its own, it's able to harmonize a whole group of other flavors. Now,
It smells so good.
there's only one conductor in an orchestra. That's why you do it in moderation. You put too much in there, and then that's
I
can
think
be
I mix
problematic.
it as much as I could.
it looks
A little-
great.
Smells really good, you guys.
Yeah.
It smells really good.
So
That could be like a nice. Oh my god, that's a whole meal there.
well, we're gonna share.
Of course, but it smells really good, and I can tell it's satisfying because of the avocado and
Okay.
everything else.
So now we're gonna pull some off, put it in a bowl, and then I'm gonna drizzle a little bit.
So it's got crunchy. It's got
Mhm.
like the soft, texture of the avocados and the citrus. I could tell like at the bottom of it the juices.
Yeah, we're making a little sauce here. And so now that we've got this split up, I'm going to put a little bit of the tart cherry on top as a, and then we go right there.
Cherry, apples. This is definitely a fall season
Yeah.
thing. I mean, in my opinion. My humble opinion.
Mm-hmm. So there we have it. My avocado apple gadget with special guest tart cherry syrup.
If you could smell, it smells so good in here. It smells like fall.
Mm-hmm.
So yummy. Yes.
All right, somebody's got to eat it, right?
I'm on.
All right, here, I'm going to give you a little sample. Okay,
Is that my price? I can try it. Oh
there you
my-
go. No,
You're
no.
gonna feed it to me?
Yeah, there we go.
Oh my god, yes.
Best ever?
You know what I'm thinking? If you have a sweet craving, this is perfect. It just really hits just enough sweetness that will take care of it. And I'm thinking the fat from the avocado also helps you satiate the craving. That's the first thing. It's like, oh my God, yes, that's really nice. It could be a snack, but it could be a dessert.
It could be a meal.
Breakfast.
You could eat this all day, every day.
And breakfast too, I feel.
Forever. We're gonna do it.
How long would it keep? I mean, just maybe the day you make it?
I wouldn't keep it more than a day in the fridge because the avocado
And the apples will
and the apple, they
oxidize.
kind of brown.
Oh, but you're not gonna stop eating it. It's really good, you guys.
All right. Well, it was a pleasure sharing this recipe with you.
Thank you, guys. Now you know how to make this nice, easy, and simple gadget recipe.
Yeah. Tune in for more recipes, tips, tricks, all that good stuff. Come visit me at the Live Food Experience. You know what? You think I'd done this before, right? The livefoodexperience.com. Livefoodexperience.com. Love you. Keep it live. Cheer.